lost support through telehealth, but it feels overwhelming and rushed? Check out orderlymeds.com now. Orderlymeds.com was built to be different. Here, you connect with real doctors who take the time to understand your goals, review your eligibility, and guide you through a plan that's right for you. Orderly Meds provides access to proven GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, including both name brand options and personalized compound versions when appropriate. So you have choices backed by clinical oversight, not guesswork. It's a simpler, more supportive telehealth experience designed around people who want clarity, care, and confidence in their weight loss journey. And your medication is delivered directly to your home in discreet packaging, so your experience stays private from start to finish. Do your research, ask the right questions, then visit orderlymeds.com/podcast for an exclusive offer. Again, that's orderlymeds.com/podcast. Individual results may vary, not medical advice. Eligibility required. See site for details.
This podcast is part of the History Shorts Network. Got a history show? We're growing, and we want great voices. Find us at historyshortspodcast.com.
Hey listeners, this is Peter and welcome back to the History Shorts. Today's episode is brought to you by the Podcast Republic, your ultimate listening app. Discover and subscribe to thousands of podcasts from around the world. Download Podcast Republic today, available on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Today on History Shorts, George Washington spent approximately $200 on ice cream in the summer of 1790. That's roughly $6,000 in today's money. He also owned 2 ice cream pots, a set of ice cream molds, and a mechanical device specifically designed for, you guessed it, making ice cream. The father of the American Republic was, by any reasonable measure, an ice cream obsessive. He was also, in this as in so many things, a man of his time. Because ice cream, in one form or another, has been one of humanity's greatest pleasures for considerably longer than the United States has existed. Our history brief today covers some recent history news. A quick word from our sponsors.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ziprecruiter.com/zip. That's ziprecruiter.com/zip. ziprecruiter.com/zip.
This day in history. On May 7, 1915, the British ocean liner RMS Lusitania was sunk by a German U-boat off the coast of Ireland, killing nearly 1,200 people and shifting public opinion toward war. On May 7, 1945, Nazi Germany signed an unconditional surrender in France, bringing World War II in Europe to an official end. Story of the day. The story here begins, as so many stories in history do, in China. Written records from the Tang Dynasty, roughly the 7th to 10th centuries AD, describe the Emperor Tang enjoying a frozen dish made from buffalo milk, flour, and camphor, chilled with ice harvested from the mountains. Whether this counts as ice cream in any meaningful sense, well, that's a question that food historians argue about with more passion than the subject probably warrants. What is clear is that the practice of chilling sweet substances with ice or snow was quite widespread across the ancient world. The Roman Emperor Nero reportedly sent runners into the mountains to collect snow, which was then flavored with fruit juices and honey. Arab traders developed sherbet, chilled fruit syrups that would eventually travel through Persia and the Ottoman Empire into Europe as the ancestor of modern sorbet. The key innovation that separated flavored ice from what we would recognize as ice cream was the addition of dairy. Exactly when or exactly where and exactly by whom that happened, well, that remains genuinely contested. The most popular origin story credits Italy. Specifically, it credits Catherine de' Medici, the Florentine noblewoman who married King Henry II of France in 1533, and is traditionally said to have brought the secret of frozen cream desserts from Italy to the French court. It is a wonderful story. It is also almost certainly not true. After doing some digging on the internet, what I figured out is that food historians have spent considerable energy debunking the Catherine de' Medici's origin myth, finding no contemporary evidence to support it and considerable evidence that it was invented much later to give a glamorous backstory to a product that probably developed more gradually and anonymously across several European countries simultaneously. What is documented is that by the 17th century, frozen cream desserts were appearing in the records of royal courts across Europe. England, France, and Italy all have documented recipes from this period. King Charles II of England had ice cream served at a royal feast in 1671. A recipe for icy cream appears in an English manuscript from around the same period. The technology was spreading, and the pleasure was catching on. Ice cream reached the American colonies in the early 18th century, brought over by wealthy colonists who had encountered it in England. The first recorded mention of ice cream in America appears in 1744. It is from a letter from a Maryland guest describing a dinner at the governor's mansion, and he was very impressed. By the time of the Revolution, ice cream had become a fixture of elite American hospitality. George Washington was an enthusiast, as I noted early on. Thomas Jefferson brought back an 18-step recipe for a vanilla ice cream he had encountered in France, a recipe that actually survives in his own handwriting in the Library of Congress. Dolly Madison famously served strawberry ice cream at the White House State Dinner in 1813. The problem with all of this was that ice cream was still, for most people, entirely inaccessible. Making it required ice, which had to be harvested in winter, stored in insulated ice houses, and then transported carefully. It required cream. It required the mechanical effort of hand churning for long periods. It was a luxury of the wealthy, a treat for special occasions, something that most ordinary Americans had heard of but rarely tasted. But that was about to change. The democratization of ice cream began with a Boston businessman named Frederick Tudor. Tudor, known to history as the Ice King, built almost from scratch an international ice trade in the early 19th century. He harvested ice from frozen New England ponds in winter, packed it in sawdust, and shipped it to the American South, to the Caribbean, and eventually to India and beyond. His competitors thought he was insane, but he became enormously wealthy. Tudor's ice trade made ice affordable and widely available for the first time, which meant that ice cream, previously a luxury of ice houses and wealthy estates, could now be produced commercially. By the 1850s, commercial ice cream production was growing rapidly. Hand cranked ice cream freezers had been patented. Street vendors were selling ice cream in American cities. The ice cream saloon, the forerunner to what we today would know as an ice cream shop, was becoming a fixture of urban life. The cone arrived, as so many American things did, at a World's Fair. In 1904, St. Louis World Fair, the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, is the traditional birthplace of the ice cream cone, though multiple vendors have claimed credit and the exact origin is still disputed. The most appealing version of the story involves an ice cream vendor named Arnold Show who ran out of dishes and thus turned to a neighboring waffle vendor, Ernesti Hamwi, who rolled his waffles into cones as a solution to help his friend. Whether or not that precise moment happened exactly that way, well, the cone caught on at the fair and spread rapidly afterward. That much we know. Within a decade, it had become one of the defining images of American summer. The 20th century brought industrial refrigeration, soft serve ice cream, the ice cream truck, the novelty bar, the sundae, and a global industry that today generates over $90 billion annually. Americans consume more ice cream per capita than almost any other nation on earth. The flavors available at any given moment in any given supermarket would be unrecognizable and, frankly, unbelievable to a Tang Dynasty emperor or even a Roman courier trudging back down a mountain with a load of flavored snow. And yet, the essential thing has not really changed. Something cold, something sweet, and something that produces in a person consuming it a particular variety of uncomplicated pleasure that very few other foods can reliably deliver. The Emperor Nero had it, George Washington had it, Dolly Madison served it at the state dinners. Ernest Hemingway may or may not have been rolled the first cone at the World's Fair in St. Louis in 1904. Anyway, 3,000 years of human civilization, and perhaps, maybe, potentially, kind of, the best idea we ever had. The History Brief. Today on History News, we're headed to the edge of Egypt's Nile Delta, where archaeologists have uncovered a remarkable temple that may have been dedicated to a very unusual god. A god whose name literally meant mud. According to reporting from the Smithsonian Magazine, the discovery was made at the ancient city of Pelusium, once a thriving port and gateway between Egypt and the wider Mediterranean world. At first, researchers weren't entirely sure what they had found. Back in 2019, initial excavations revealed what looked like a circular structure made of red brick. Some believed it might have been a civic building, perhaps even a kind of Senate house. But after years of further excavation, a very different picture emerged. What they had uncovered was a massive circular basin, about 115 feet across, surrounded by channels and reservoirs designed to control and circulate water. And at the center, a raised platform, likely once supporting a statue of a local god. That god is known as Pelusius, a little known god whose name comes from a Greek word meaning mud or silt, which in ancient Egypt was anything but insignificant. The Nile's annual floods deposited rich layers of silt or mud across the land, making agriculture possible and sustaining civilization itself. In that sense, mud wasn't just dirt, it was life. And this temple appears to have been built around that same idea. Archaeologists found evidence that the basin was once filled with water and Nile silt, directly connecting the structure to the natural cycles of the river. In other words, this wasn't just a traditional temple, it was a ritual environment where water itself played a central role in religious ceremonies, possibly symbolizing creation or fertility and renewal. The design is also quite striking. Unlike most Egyptian temples, which follow rectangular layouts, this one is perfectly circular, a rare architectural form that blends Egyptian but also Greek and Roman influences. And that tells us something important about Pelusium itself. Located at the crossroads of empires, the city was a place where cultures mixed, where Egyptian traditions met Greek language and Roman governance. This temple reflects that fusion, both in its design and in its identity of the god it may have honored. Though Pelusius is not one of Egypt's famous gods, like Ra or Cyrus. He's obscure, local, and almost forgotten. And yet, here we have evidence of an entire temple complex built just around him. I guess it's a reminder that ancient religion wasn't just about major gods. It was deeply tied to local environments, local needs, or local identities. And in a land defined by the Nile, it makes sense that even something as humble as mud could become divine. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today and helping make this little show such a mighty success. If you're enjoying this show and would like to help with its production, you can always donate a few dollars at buymeacoffee.com or become a Patreon member to enjoy these episodes ad-free. Both links can be found on our website at www.historyshortspodcast.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel where we have different series that are not part of this feed. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you all again tomorrow.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.